So it's my pleasure to announce County Council candidate for South Maui, Don Couch.
Aloha, everybody. Gee, now that all the West Maui races are gone, everybody's leaving. You should put them at last.
That's because we brought more money in than you guys did. 94 million, brother. Look it up. Look it up.
Again, aloha, everybody. My name is Don Couch, and I'm running for the South Maui County Council seat. And I'm running because I think my experience under the Arakawa administration as an executive assistant makes me uniquely qualified to be a council member. I'll be the only one of any of the candidates who have had experience in all the departments from the administrative level. I know about all the departments, especially how they affect the south side and the west side. Most of you know me from working with you for 3.5 to 4 years on all the west side issues. So you know how I work, you know how open my office has been to you, you know how I work with common sense, and that's the other thing I wanted to talk about, common sense. We're talking about, we heard about water, we heard about injection wells. A real common sense issue to fix the injection wells, get this thing over with right now, is we don't have to put a lot of money into pumping the water all over Kihei or all over Lahaina. Just pump it up the hill in Lahaina, up the hill, have it water the coffee. You're done. You don't have to inject it anymore. You're done. Water the hillside. If you got more, just water the hillside. Now, it costs a lot of money in electricity to pump water up the hill. So put a windmill on the pump. Put some solar panels on the pump. Generate the electricity. It's done. Then you can spend the money that you were going to spend digging up the roads and putting pipes in all over the place use that money and get potable water sources. Find potable water. So, can I use Wayne's time now?
No, but thanks for solving all of the problems in West Maui. That's it, right?
Well, that's a simple common sense thing. We don't have to do studies. We don't have to do all right,
okay. I'm going to read the question clearly, okay? In many occasions, development precedes infrastructure development. Because of that mentality, we are faced with failing or lacking infrastructure. If elected, what will you do to change the current process?
If elected, I will make sure that we follow the general plan. If everybody looks at the current general plan and the current West Maui community plan, they're about this thick. They were used as guidelines. They weren't used as very good guidelines. The general plan and the subsequent community plans should be law, at least for 5 years. Once we come up with that plan, we're going to say, as a community, this is what we want. It should be law. It should be very, very difficult to change, at least for 5 years after it's been implemented. Okay? So, in the general plan and the community plans, part of the policy document says we got to build the infrastructure at the same time or before we build any development. So as Ellie and Alan said, we can partner with the developer. If the developer has impact fees that we don't need right now or we don't get enough, put it into a fund that can't be touched until enough money gets in there to improve any infrastructure lacking that we have, be it water, sewer, or roads.
Okay. Thank you, Don. Second question. Currently, tourism is the primary economic generator in Maui County. What is your view on that, and what new ideas might you have in changing or promoting that concept?
Tourism is responsible for anywhere in the number of ranges, depends on how deep you want to go, from 70 to 90% of our economy. Without tourism, as you have seen in the last few years, we hurt. So we have to make sure that until we become sustainable, until we become diverse in our economy, we have to make sure we get some tourists here. So we have to work in parallel. We have to promote Maui. There are so many destinations these days that are competing with Maui. Now everybody says, well, you know, the Maui Visitor Bureau gets too much money, and what are they doing? You don't see what they're doing because you're here on Maui already. What happens is, over on the mainland, over in Canada, over in China, in Korea, those are the places where we're spending money and spending it wisely and getting people over here. You can look at their books, you can look at their programs. When they target Canada, all of a sudden we get a huge amount of people from Canada. When they target the West Coast, we get a huge amount of people. So the MPB is working. I propose that we, instead of cutting way down, when you're in a business, I know a lot of you people here are business people, in a low economy, the worst thing you can do, is cut your advertising. We can't cut our advertising in a low economy. We have to increase it because that's what gets people here. We're competing with Florida. They just had the Gulf Coast disaster, so they're going to pump money to get people back there. Alabama, Mexico's having the problem with the drug wars. When that stops, they're going to be pumping money to get people there. We need to make sure that the tourists come here, because that's what's driving our economy. Now, at the same time, I only have 10 seconds, so I can finish later.
I'll give you 20 if you can be brief.
Okay, I'll be brief. At the same time, we do need to figure out ways to diversify. We tried high-tech. High-tech is coming up slowly, but things are working a little bit better now with high-tech. So we can get some high-tech in here. We can get certainly sustainable energy going. That's a huge potential market. And we can also work on farming. The issue with farming is we need farmers. That's the biggest thing. We need farmers. It's hard work. My campaign manager's dad is a farmer, and he's 60 years old. The average age of most of the farmers on Maui is 60. And they don't have people coming in. There are some nice, good, young, up-and-coming farmers that are dedicated and passionate, but it's not enough. So we need to get farmers here if we want to have sustainable agriculture. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to change this question a little bit, but it's basically the same thing we asked. Cooperation between the county, state, and federal levels are very important. A successful example of this is the mass transit system in Maui and the air ambulance program. For most of you in the audience, it costs the average taxpayer $4 a year to pay for air ambulance service for that option. Okay? With respect to the federal and state and county levels, because we aggressively market, the federal government pretty much buys us new buses and then the county makes them work. What will you do if elected to keep these relationships strong?
Well, actually, I'm not elected, and I have very good relationships, certainly with the State Department of Transportation. For anybody who hasn't heard, I had a radio show until I became a candidate for the last 4 years with the State Department of Transportation. I have the director's cell number. I can text him and say, hey, we got an issue. They would come on the show every Tuesday morning, and people would call in and say, we've got this issue, and they would answer. They would come back with an answer within 1 or 2 weeks, and they would get it fixed usually within a month. So I have a really good relationship with the State Department of Transportation. I also, when I'm working with in the county, I had a really good relationship with a lot of the departments with the state, because we had to deal with a lot of different departments in the state. So I feel I have a good relationship with the state people. The federal people, I got endorsed last election by Senator Noe, so I feel I can talk to him. I deal with him a little bit in the with the Boys and Girls Club of Maui. We've had discussions with him, so I have a good working relationship with him and his staff. Of course, the administration, whichever administration gets in, I know I've been able to work with a lot of people. Doesn't matter whether I agree or disagree with them. Heck, I have a great relationship with Roz Baker right now. We get along well. Angus McKelvey and I have worked tirelessly on some bills that have gone through in the last 4 years. So I feel I have a really good relationship.
Okay, I'm done. We'll give you 2 minutes for closing remarks.
Well, I want to thank everybody for staying. Looked like everybody's getting up and leaving. I thank West Maui Taxpayers Association for having this event. I look forward to it every time. I just want to say you can start voting now. Actually, I voted today. You can vote now. You can do absentee ballot until the 26th. You have to get the application in until the 26th. And the ballot has to be back to the county clerk by 6 o'clock on November 2nd. You can walk in at the county building, 7th floor. That's what I did. Real easy, real quick. If you're in town between 8 and 4, Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday. You can come in on Saturday and vote. Either way, I ask you to tell all your friends, and I ask you to vote for Don Couch for the South Maui County Council, because not only would I be elected to represent South Maui, but you all know me from working with you for 4 years in West Maui. So you got a double whammy right there. I can work with whoever gets the West Maui. Good luck to both of you, and all of you out there. You've seen me work. You know how I work, and you know that I'm open. Mahalo.
Ladies and gentlemen, South Maui County Council candidate Don Couch.